but I definitely was not myself that night. And I thought certain people were my friend, you know? And you don't want to believe that your friends would do certain things, but yeah, it's definitely possible. But yeah, I was just not in my right state of mind. I apologize for allowing y'all to see me lose my cool. Yeah, that's what happened.
He believes his own shit. So I just wanted to get that out and talk about that.
When you're a part of a legendary rap group based around being conscious and speaking knowledge, the last thing you'd want to be called is a dumbass.
How about that?
Yeah, Flat Earth is the dumbest hoax in human history. Jamar just watched some videos by Eric Dubé, who just spews a bunch of bullshit, memorized what he says, and repeats it and pretends to be intelligent. Instead, everything you say is so insanely stupid and can be disproven with, like, middle school level physics.
Really?
So, what's
goodness.
weight? Tell me the definition of weight.
It's your fucking head on your fucking shoulders, you fat head
someone's
bitch.
getting a little sassy because he
Like,
doesn't know the answer to the
bro,
question. What
We're
does
not
weight
going to
mean?
sit here and talk about all these.
We're not going to sit here and define words that you don't
Yes,
know. that you're
define
trying to
words. We're talking about what's heavy and what's light.
use. Yeah, so what does fucking heavy mean, dumbass? You said the word heavy. What is heavy? What is weight? What is weight? What does that mean? You don't know the definitions of the words you're using.
Bro.
But after getting decimated, crushed, violated, trashed, spanked in a flat earth debate against Professor Dave, Lord Jamar has reached a new low, accusing Godfrey, who's his close friend, of lacing his blunt to make sure he couldn't verbally defend himself against Dave's onslaught. We did a full breakdown on that debate on this channel, one of the few places where that footage still exists, because after the cameras went off, Fraud Jamar begged Godfrey to remove the episode from his channel. And Godfrey, feeling bad for his mans, did just that and removed the video at his own expense. As a friend, Godfrey lost out on having a classic verbal whooping on his channel. And in return for that loyalty, Lord Jamar tells his audience that he thinks Godfrey set him up for Dante to drug him and then bring in a white man to do his dirty work. Again, this was about a debate, one that Lord Jamar called for, wanting Neil deGrasse Tyson or anyone of his caliber or popularity to step up to his challenge. That's the beginning of this whole ordeal. It got so bad that comments from our community would even de-Lord Jamar, which I didn't even know was possible, but he's just Jamar now. I'm sorry, the people have spoken, I just work here. So now Godfrey and Dante talk about the debate and why they didn't keep the video up, and how sad Jamar is acting now that he and his community look silly.
Here we go.
Yeah. Black Neil deGrasse Tyson.
You don't respect Neil deGrasse?
No, I would debate him in a minute.
Really?
Absolutely.
Damn.
He's an actor. He has
What
a
about
SAG
Terrence
card.
Howard?
Terrence Howard is a smart dude, but he's off too.
The Earth is a triangle. Let me explain. There's isosceles, there's equilateral, and there's scalene. It's not a circle. It's not flat. It's a triangle. You're all wrong. All of you motherfuckers are wrong. And it's because I'm light-skinned that you don't believe me.
Godfrey would even shoot back at Jamar.
So, and it's almost like you're trying to make up a beef, I guess. Maybe that's a rap
He
thing.
tried to Drake you.
Yeah, he's trying to Drake me like, I'm like, huh? It's like, you're bad. Your enemy is the guy Dave, not me. And then you're calling us sucker bitch and all this other shit. I'm like, maybe you're that kind of guy. Maybe you're that kind of whack ass dude. Maybe that's what you are. Because I didn't call you any names. I said, let me just you f my money up.
Yeah.
And then you're saying, oh, they're just doing this for views. That's how everybody's doing this shit for views, and you fucking right, I'm doing this for views.
But he's implying you sold him out for views.
I sold him out for views.
you
That's
get.
what I did.
You got literally.
I sold him out. My views came because he's been on my show. Stop.
It looks
I've
more
earned my
like
shit on my own.
He's creating this beef to get the views. His whole
Probably,
beef.
yeah, that helps him get views.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't, he'd be like, let me not say
Maybe
anything.
just another guess. Like,
Because controversy brings people to watch, you know? So I'm like, to get views, yeah. What else would I do this for? I'm doing this for views. You fucking right. Views are currency.
Yeah.
Views are currency. That's important to have views. Oh, man.
So how does this debate even get set up in the first place? Well, Jamar put out that open challenge, and Dante, wanting to debate with Jamar, felt like he didn't have the words to do a good job, so he tried to get Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil does a show called Star Talk with comedian Chuck Nice as his co-host, who's a friend of Dante. Chuck said Neil was too busy to go on the show anytime soon, but then Dante saw Professor Dave's response to Lord Jamar that he made on his own and thought it would be a good idea to invite Dave, but was worried about calling him because he's a white man. Dante knew Jamar was about to get handled, he just didn't want that ass whooping to be at the hand of a white man. Dante probably didn't think Jamar would crash out to this extent, but he knew it was going to be bad. Because he's one of our conscious, traditional rappers. That used to mean something.
He's his co-host.
Yes.
So I hit up Chuck. Chuck hit me back and he said, listen, he says, look, Neil is swamped. There's no way I could get Neil on until maybe after February. And I was like, well, all right. Well,
which is fine. If Neil wants to come later, hell, it's Neil.
Right, exactly. But then what happened was I saw a clip where Dave did a response video on
That's what I was talking about.
And the flat Earth. But the first thing was I want to debate Neil
deGrasse Tyson, right? And so
I was absolutely, and I said this to you, God, that I'm a little funny about letting Professor Dave debate him on your platform because I was worried about the optics of a white dude.
But we tried to use a black man first, and my thing is this: whatever the race is, somebody don't agree with you, and so let's see. It's science. Let's see what happens. You know.
Right, but I said to you several times that I didn't like the optics of it.
Oh, right, of course not. Right, we got to get a black person.
Right.
And we tried, and they weren't available.
But still, when Godfrey invited Jamar, he hesitated at first, but then decided to pull up anyways. We have to respect that. But accepting a debate makes us expect Jamar to be at least kind of prepared to debate.
But I made that step, and I only made that jump because he said, I'll debate Neil deGrasse Tyson. So I'm always looking, for ways to build, to make better content. So, okay, let's do it, right? I did not know that it was going to be a trash-in the way it was a trash-in because I just assumed if you're that boisterous about your philosophy about flat Earth, right, that you would know the talking points of at least.
That's what I thought that he would have. Okay, this is going to be a good, and I was going to like me and you were going to we're going to shut the fuck up and let them go back and forth, and it's going to be a nice volley.
But Jamar surprised Godfrey and the rest of the pod by starting off hot without knowing that Dave was already on the Zoom call listening. So since Dave correctly matched Jamar's energy, he apparently forgot how to argue his talking points.
When we asked him,
when you asked him,
I said, yo, why don't you go against this guy named Dave? Blah blah blah. He goes, okay. He said, let me think about it. He said, you know what? I'm gonna come through. You know what I mean? And on his own, I didn't force him. I said, I think it would be a really good episode that you guys go at it. People love debates. Yeah. When we bring Dave on, Dave's like, hell yeah, I want to do this. I'm like, this is going to be great. As soon as he gets on, I'm thinking it's going to be good. He goes, Professor Dave, do we have that? We're going to show this. It was very strange. And I was like, I kind of threw me off. All right, here we go.
Dave, here's my thing. Man, let me fuck Professor Dave. Before he even get here. You know why? When it comes to hip hop, right?
Yeah, it was like, fuck. I just thought, I was just a little bit like that. I laughed. I was like, okay, I thought he was just going to say fucking and keep it going. But he was really like, I don't fuck that dude. I want to talk.
While Dave was feasting on our favorite 5%er, peace to the gods, Jamar was begging for it to be over. And then immediately after, Jamar continued that begging and had Godfrey remove the episode entirely from his channel, which affects him. It's a business where producers show up to work. The work was done, but they couldn't monetize off the episode because Professor Dave dragged Jamar by his ankles through these internet streets.
And I was like, this is a platform, like for you to come on and go down that road is in my opinion, is disrespectful to the platform because Dave came on as a guest, Jamar came on as a guest. Why would you not expect a blatant, just a basic respect for each other on the platform? Period.
Right. And I'm like, so my podcast don't mean shit to you. because I did his podcast. I've never disrespected his podcast. I always was respectful to his podcast. And, and then when, when they were going back and forth, Dave didn't stand down. He was like, no, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. And I was like, okay, this is going to be good. Yeah. And it got a little viral. It got a little viral and shit. And then he was like, yo, take this dude off. After that happened, he was like, yo, yeah, man, don't show that shit. Don't show the episode. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because that fucks with my shit. Yeah. That fucks my money up. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't show it, because we cut it off right away, too. Like, I say, oh, this is going to be cool. Yeah. It happens. And I said I won't show it. Yeah. As a friend, I won't do it. I did not show it. Yeah. And that cuts into my shit. Yeah. And then everybody's like, yo.
Godfrey didn't have an episode to put up. And then the other episode, because Dave recorded on his side, Dave got 500,000 views on his side for putting up the clip of it, because he had recorded it on his end.
Jamar then took to his own channel to say Godfrey and his co-host Dante drugged him because Dante is an ex-pimp, so he got a bitch to do his dirty work, which are some harsh words and allegations. But aside from the accusation of being drugged, his view is kind of fair. Dante did call Dave to debate Jamar because he didn't have the words to debate Jamar himself. Technically, he did get someone else to handle his dirty work. And handled is exactly what happened.
Then he was like,
you're a pimp. I'm sorry. He said you're
an ex-pimp.
Ex-pimp, yeah.
Such and such. And so, you know how he manipulates people and blah, 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 blah. Now, I've never been lied or misrepresented myself. Pimping is not something that I'm proud of. Right. It's not something that I put in the front of. In fact, the reason why I'm not, because it was something that I didn't have ethically. I didn't have the stomach for it. Right. So I'm not. It's not something I brag about. But when you keep saying that, it's a way, in my mind, it's shots fired, because it's a way of disparaging me. Oh, this nigga he's a pimp. Yeah. He takes advantage of blah, 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 and he kept saying that, right? Yeah. So, Mike, you got the video for that?
Which one are you looking for?
He said the pimp, when he called, he said he's a pimp, so he tried to. There's a video the video what he did with the flat earthers.
Yeah, I got
here it is. Okay, let's see it.
Cool. I let this sucker bitch, pull me into some shit. There's a guy on the show that used to be an ex-pimp, and since he couldn't best me the last time, he did what a pimp does, and he got a bitch to do his dirty work. And that's what happened.
Yeah. So he's calling us names and shit like that. It was your behavior, man. You did that. I didn't make you call this dude an F word. I didn't make you say Dave. I didn't make any. I just said you showing up, cool. Yeah. I even gave you money for the toll.
But when Dante talked to Jamar, he backed away from that allegation and said, I didn't say that word. Godfrey did. Which, as you know, throwing someone under a bus is what friends do.
There's no way I would ever drug you. That's crazy. Right. He was like, oh, Godfrey said drugged. I didn't say drugged. I was like, well, I just want you to know I would never drug you. I go, and the only reason why we set this up in the first place was because you said you wanted to debate out of his own mouth. You saw the video. You said you wanted to
debate Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Debate Neil deGrasse Tyson. I couldn't get Neil, so I got the next best thing, and that's how it went down. I had no idea that he wasn't inept to with his own points or to deal with this dude or any of that. It was just me putting it together because he asked.
And Jamar would even make one of the most cowardly moves of this whole situation when he tells Godfrey he didn't sign anything that gave his consent to be on the show. Really. Jamar threatened to take legal action and sue Godfrey to try to make sure the debate isn't posted by Godfrey. Jamar says Godfrey sold them out for views, but we all know that if Jamar would have won, he would be mad at Godfrey for not posting it sooner and not marketing it enough.
He said, I'm going to take some legal action. And then he goes, I didn't sign anything to show my. It's like that. You can't. You've been on my podcast before. Now you're doing this legal shit. Whatever is clever. You can't do that. Like now you're gonna do a lawsuit on me? Like what?
Yeah.
You called him F words and all kind of other shit. You know? So, and it's almost like you're trying to make up a beef, I guess. Maybe that's a rap thing.
He tried to Drake you.
Yeah, he's trying to Drake me like, I'm like, huh? It's like, you're bad. Your enemy is the guy Dave, not me. And then you're calling us sucker bitch and all this other shit. I'm like, maybe you're that kind of guy. Maybe you're that kind of whack ass dude. Maybe that's what you are. Because I didn't call you any names. I said, let me just you fucked my money up.
Yeah.
And then you're saying, oh, they're just doing this for views. What individual on social media is not doing shit for fucking views?
Jamar will go so far as to threaten Godfrey by saying, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Which doesn't sound very conscious.
You know? And then he goes, oh, we gonna take care of that. Like, take care of what? You know, what did you think? What did you get from that, Dante, when he said we gonna take care of that?
Sound like a threat.
Like, oh, we're going to take care of that. Like, what do you mean? Over flat earth. This is what we're doing.
But that would be kind of the last straw, as Godfrey now shoots back at Lord Jamar and how he let himself be disrespected by other people who he agrees with. Listen to the most ridiculous example Lord Jamar's friend gives him while consoling him about his ass whooping. Not just chicken, fried chicken. Not just fried chicken, a bucket of it.
I think it shows very clearly that you respected him and tried to protect him because you didn't release
I didn't release that shit, but then he got on and started talking shit about me to some two bum-ass white dudes. Like, since you feel like maybe I embarrassed in front of white, you talking to these two motherfuckers, and they're bringing up fucking Kentucky Fried Chicken buckets with them. Like, show that Kentucky Fried Chicken example.
That's minute 7.
And he didn't check them on it. Like,
so here's the thing.
Water on it, like you just said. You can't stick a cruise ship or a person to the bottom of it. You can't contain air on the outside of it. So it's not a model, it's a toy. But if we looked at the flat earth model and compared it to a bucket of a dinner of, bucket from Kentucky Fried Chicken with the mashed potatoes and the gravy and everything, the gravy lays level in there. It's contained. You can float a cruise ship on it. The plastic dome over the top, you can put air in there. It'll be contained. No one's going to fall off of it. You put a little boat in there or a person. And it's contained. A bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken is a better model for the earth than the globe.
So, like, how you don't push back on, like, all of a sudden, I've seen Dave and I've seen him, that dude is called Flat Earth Dave. I've seen him debate people before. Mm-hmm. Never heard him use Kentucky Fried Chicken as the model. A bucket
of it. A bucket.
All of a sudden, now he's talking to a black dude. Now the model. Let me say it so you understand.
That's like a tub of collard green, and there's water in that tub. It's a container, and the collard green.
We hollowed out a watermelon. Right? We put Hennessy. We filled it up with Hennessy. And no shape and point at the time. The boat did not, you couldn't see the bottom of the boat, no matter how Hennessy finds its own level.
But Godfrey doesn't want to hold any grudges against Jamar.
And this is not some beef I'm having with him. I just think you calling us names and calling me out, I'm like, I did you a favor. I tried. Yeah. And then you doing that, and so you backstabbing me? What the kind of friend is that? Because I talked to him. Like, I don't run from shit. Mm-hmm. But to say I'm going to, a lawsuit and all this, I'm like, what? What are you doing? You sound like one of them chicks where they take you for your money. Lawsuits happening. Wait,
he draked you, son. He draked you.
Yeah, he draked me. And so there's no beef here. Mm-hmm. It's just the facts are the facts. There's footage on shit. So if he doesn't want to do that, then that's on him, and that's his character. My thing is, it's not hard to go, yo, man, my bad. Cool. It's not that difficult, but some of us want to keep shit going because that's what they do. You know, I don't have problems with people. I just don't, because I'm not a fucking prick.
Will Jamar recover from this? Losing a debate doesn't make you a bad person or even dumb, but trying to cover it up, then saying your friend set you up, drugged you, and sold you out for views? That's kind of pathetic. Come on, God, we gotta do better than that. Do you think Jamar will accept a round 2? Should next time he bring his flat earth buddies to make it an even 3v1? Because maybe Dave is too much for the one-on-one verbal fade for Jamar. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you're still watching, you might as well like this video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.